Okay, chart market review Sunday going into Monday, January 8th, 2023. You can see it's 8:25 p.m. and I'm just getting to the charts today. I had a chance to glance. I did get stopped out of a trade. We're going to look at that. I'm going to try to prepare this for this week a little bit. And I'm sharing these videos because I feel like it's more to my benefit than worrying about leaking edge, especially as my system becomes more complicated and hard to copy. So welcome in, guys. It's Sunday. Even though I lost, I'm feeling very relaxed. I had an amazing day, a very social day, a very fun day, rewarding, enriching, great day here on the island of Hawaii, and I'm just blessed to be alive. Whatever happens, happens. I've got money in my bank account. I could blow up my trading account. I'll be fine. Although I don't want that. So, first I have the indices up here and let's look at them. They may have just put in a higher low, wouldn't surprise me, and now be going for back up here and to take out here. It could be, it could be, or it could be we just are sweeping the highs of the range only to sweep the lows of the range and chop. It's really hard to know, like, what's the tone of the year going to be, right? Is it going to be more down? Is it going to be up? Are we going to end the year up from here? My expectation, that was my first bear market. My expectation is we will end the next year higher than this year ended. So maybe most likely we go lower at some point, and that the bottom wasn't December 31st. Who knows? Could be. But even though I'm taking shorts at these levels, it's important for me to commit to shifting my bias to be more long biased, especially for crypto. Crypto being down and Bitcoin being down 80%. Hey guys, it's very unlikely Bitcoin goes down 80% in 2023 again. It's possible, but it's much more likely it goes down a little bit or it goes up a little bit or it chops side to side, which means that in 2023, like it was most of the money was made on shorts. Sorry, in 2022. 2023, I think it's important to look at. Um, it's going to be important to look at longs. Okay, now let's move on to, we're going to look at Bitcoin and ETH. Okay, we're going to zoom in. And you can see how compressed the volatility has become compared to the indices, where we had these huge wild swings of 100%, 50%. And then as we bled down, prices really compressed into really low volatility. So let's take a look at where we are first with a naked chart on Bitcoin and on ETH, and then look at a couple different systems that I'm using. So in the 12 months, this is all we have on Bybit. This is no on Binance even. Um, it's likely we come up and fill this gap, I guess, to 27,000. And that's my bold prediction for 2023. It doesn't mean I'm gonna just trade long to 27, and I'm short right now. But there's my bold prediction is we're gonna see 27,000 in 2023, which would be up here, which would make sense to take this high. Bolder prediction, which I'm not making, would be 36 or maybe even 52. I think that's not going to happen, but yeah, maybe 36, maybe 28. Predictions of echo bubbles is possible. We're still under this low, and even though it's more bullish, the default is still like not trending market, but liquidity hunting. Even though I'm short, it looks like it might want to launch. So, something first I want to point out is as we go to the charts, and I'm going to turn my drawings on now. I'm going to turn off the channels that are no longer valid or relevant. So I'm gonna turn this one off for now. I was long from the wick low on this day, you guys remember, and I didn't hold it. I actually closed it that night with the fireworks, like shortly after getting filled. And it was just a disaster because was my take profit today. I risked 2%. Which is $5,000. It was about a 6R. So I would have wicked out a close today at 17.1 actually for $30,000, which I don't have. And instead I'm in a drawdown in a losing streak. So that's how important for me winners are in my system, because the average loss for me isn't actually 5,000. It might be 2 or 3,000. And one winner pays for so many losers that I really need to hold it to target. So there was other trades along the way. I suppose there was possibly a short right here. There was a long here, maybe this long at 16.7 would have worked surprisingly well. 16.7 long was suggested to me. It would have worked surprisingly well. Now, even though like this high is becoming a target, we'll look at the ETH chart. These highs, everything's a target if we look at charging up to 27. Let's imagine it for a moment. And we could sweep these lows. Something could happen. Grayscale could go down. We go to 13.8. I don't know. But this would be a target. This would be a target. I feel like it would take a long time to work through this area, but who knows? This becomes a target. This becomes a target. This becomes a target. And then that's our 27 region. But maybe we farm this liquidity up here and come all the way up here. It's possible. That would be a very interesting year, just cascading shorts up. I think it's more likely that shorts get punished, however. Now, I'm going to look at the Bitcoin setup that I'm in, and we're going to look at the ETH setup, which was a loss, and then we're going to look for new trade possibilities. There's a good chance I find nothing because it's Sunday night, and I'm in a trade. I'm probably not going to put on more short risk here, but maybe. Now, so the idea behind the current short, the first is that and yeah, I mean, we've had retracements on the way up. It's not been a straight up rally. That we would take this block right here at 17.1781. We're gonna fill that, and then my stop will allow to go through here. And maybe we don't take this before we have a more major retracement. Sweep these lows to go up higher. It's an idea. It doesn't have to happen, but that was the idea. Note to self is this range was extremely compressed because of the time of year. It was the holidays. We can expect more volatility now, which we've started to see today, on a Sunday, actually. Now, let's look at HY block. The liquidation level heat map, which is going to show us that on the 12-hour, the liquidity is below us, actually. More people are long than short. So 16,950, 16,850 are targets on the lower time frames for shorts or possibly for long entries. If we look at the 7-day, there's certainly more liquidity to take from us overhead, but the major liquidity was purged at 17.1, and now the major liquidity is below at 16.5. So to me, it makes sense to go short here, which I've done, and to consider going long at 16.5 would be interesting. I don't think that's where I have a long. Now, also for this short, we have several I'm gonna take these ones off now because they're violated. We have several predictive channels that we're calling for a possible short in this area, which is also a key Fibonacci level. We just tapped the 786 level, which is additional reason to take this trade. So even though maybe I didn't get the best entry, maybe it hasn't moved, maybe it goes against me, I'm going to go to sleep feeling like this was a good trade to take. I don't know about my TP all the way down there, but we will see. Now, my system 1.0 also called to take this trade, where the day ends, we have our breakout finally, after waiting weeks, and then we limit 0.5% higher than that, which would not have gotten filled actually, would have been just shy of getting filled. Obviously, I could wake up and I'm stopped out tomorrow, and it would not surprise me. Although, I would say this is initial price action that I like to see. Where ideally, like there's a wick, like I got filled on this wick, that's great, but price is rounding over now, and there's, I think, a good chance I at least get out of this break even, if not at a win. Now, I have a long from the 16,800 area, 16.5, and then I'm more interested, I have a long here at 16.4. So I have a couple long ideas. I'm going to consider short ideas higher as well. So let's look at 16.8 is something on the lower time frame, but yeah, 16.5 is probably better. I would be okay with taking a loss on this one, because if I took a loss on this one, it would mean that my short ran 3R, which is basically it would pay for a lot. So I like that. I'm okay with that. Now let's look at the 1 month liquidity. We're on BitNext. I want to go to Binance, just because Binance is the biggest. So let's zoom out. We took the hottest spot on the map, which typically, honestly, after that happens, we enter a lower volatility period where liquidity needs to build up again. I could see us running to 17.5 because there's more shorts to punish, which my stop loss might allow for that. I'm all the way up to 17.511, and I might be interested in a short running the top of this gap and the top of this gap. I'm going to look at those as possible additional shorts. I'm going to look for possible longs. I probably won't put on more ETH orders just because just to lighten my workload a little bit, and I can use my full size risk on Bitcoin. I do need to log my ETH loss, which is a big loss. It was risking 1.75%. But it didn't bother me today. It doesn't bother you when you're feel safe and connected with the world. Yeah, we go to the 1 month on Bybit. Like, we took the hottest spot on the map. It could make sense to wick up to 17.5, possibly. There's liquidity above and below, so the most likely thing now is either a rally higher or ranging to generate liquidity. So yeah, we will see. We're gonna go to ETH and then we're gonna come back to Bitcoin because the landscape has changed a little bit. Yeah, there's a hot spot at 16,875, which is right under here. It might make sense to change this order, so we're gonna look at that. Now let's go over to ETH. So ETH, I took a loss on, and thank you for my stop loss because it has kept running. So first off, let me take off every broken channel on this chart. Actually, I want to keep the broken channels because I think a problem with this short was that this is not a predictive channel. This is an established channel, and established channels are farmed for liquidity. This is an established channel, which is fine for liquidity. These ones are predictive channels, and they all pointed to higher. Now, there's also the 786 level up here. And ETH likes to, I don't know, I guess it's acting bullish. Now, I don't feel too bad about taking a loss here, although losses are never fun because, like, on this particular setup, this isn't how it was. Where did I had a long here too. Where did it go? Oops. Let's move this. Yeah, I was long like this. Almost so many different long setups would have gotten stopped out here. So I don't really feel like, okay, I should have, I mean, obviously it's a loss and I need to evaluate it, but so many attempted shorts would have stopped there. So these predictive channels didn't work. And yeah, part of the reason why this didn't work is I didn't use predictive channels, I think. And maybe ETH is just bullish. And I mean, it certainly looks like it wants to take this high up here now. So as far as ETH goes, I don't think I'm interested in shorting here. I think I'm interested in shorting probably up here. As for longs, like I have a long idea, which I'm going to leave. That fib no longer makes sense. And this channel, seems like it will maybe work. So I'm interested to see on that. I don't know that this long makes sense anymore. Like it is a good place to long on the chart. But there's two gaps, like maybe it makes sense to long in here. Or maybe it makes sense to just pull the order in general. Like, let's go to the 1 hour. So system 2.0 is saying, I'm looking for equal lows. Sorry, but we don't have any until down here. So maybe I'm not supposed to long. Like the liquidity hasn't built. This one was a fib retracement that maybe doesn't make sense anymore. It's a golden pocket retracement from here to there, so maybe it makes sense. Maybe I'm gonna throw that on. I'm gonna leave it on, but I'm gonna reevaluate it and say, hey, it's unlikely to get filled. And I'm not gonna, but now we get to aim up much higher as well. And there's no reason a predictive channel should find that, but there's scenarios where it might. So I'm gonna throw that on my chart and consider. Also, like I'm using these 1% stop losses. There's a good chance as volatility comes in, I can and should widen my stops. So let me log my loss right now. Trading model live. ETH and BTC 8. And I took a loss already. Bitcoin is open. And I lost. We'll see. I don't know how badly I got slipped. I haven't looked at my account, but I risked $4,000. Which is, if I look at my account, it's less than 2%. And my TP for this one was actually $24,000. it would have been a 6R, but it was not. We'll pull this down. It's going to be a loss. Clean up these lines here. It was a short. This was, I'm going to label this as system 3.0. That said, hang on, let's back up. So my system 1.0 actually would have called for, which maybe might still have worked. We don't know yet. It's way too early, but short here with a stop at 2.5%, something like this. No, 3.1. 2.5. I would have called for something like this, which maybe will work. But at this point with ETH, like I'm interested in higher for shorts, and I can sit in my Bitcoin short and get stopped out, or maybe that runs into profit. But let's do some predictive channels to predict a short opportunity higher with the fib, which would be, and the top of the gap all the way up here, which would be next week, in 1 week. If we get a rally up here at the end of the week, we'll take this. I'm not going to limited order it now. And I'll figure out how to structure that exactly later, but something like that. But yeah, in my opinion, we're going to see volatility expand, but I could be wrong. I'm not going to change that. Let's look at Bitcoin now. Yeah, I like how it's reacting. I dislike that I'm going to be asleep probably when we get a significant pullback. I'm going to give myself permission to go on the internet first thing in the morning before going on my walk, so I could consider advancing my stop, which I guess I could still do, possibly. Oh yeah, I need to log my loss. Closed P&L, 4,158. That's not too bad. So my slippage was very small, like 4,000. As I'm doing this, this is making my RR go down and down because I just have these big losses coming in and no wins because I've lost now 7 straight trades, which somehow doesn't bother me, but also because I've lost 10 straight trades. I've had, like, my system produces a bunch of losers and I also execute poorly and I lose a lot, yet somehow I'm still up $51,000 since I started this system in September. I'm down 10,000 on the month. I started the last month down 15,000, but then I made $35,000 in a week. It can change quick. I just need to kind of control risk and stick with things. My equity curve looks like this. Nothing new with the drawdowns, and I've been through numerous drawdowns, not just in trading, but as an investor. I've been through 50% drawdown back to all-time high. I'm still at around a 60% drawdown for my all-time high. I'll get back to a new all-time high. A lot of people would recommend don't risk 2% on 2 positions. That's way too much. But if I take all my real live trading data and I plug it into my risk calculator, it's not too bad. Like the odds of a 40% drawdown are very low, and the odds of a 50% drawdown are almost nothing. But a 50% drawdown is not blowing up. I've done it multiple times and I've come back from it. Now, let's look at Bitcoin, which I would say is behaving somewhat. And my stop allows for, wait, is that all my stop? Yeah, my stop doesn't allow for much, but Yeah, it's a tight stop. If I catch it though, like imagine if I even get this down to here. A 3-for-1 is not necessarily what I'm looking for, like a 5-for-1. That would give me 20 grand and I'm immediately have a 5-figure month. So I need to let this run. Closing this was a huge error. Let's let it run. This is no longer valid. Let's pull it. Okay. Now, let us do this. From this low to this low and this high to this high. Drop to the 1 hour. Short. What do you want to bet? That's a key fib also. Yeah, golden pocket. I'm gonna share that. Okay, I'm gonna share this one here too. Some messages to respond. This is something I'll consider. We could also consider it like this, which might possibly make more sense. Which could put this out later. I'm gonna leave both of these on my chart. I only want to anchor the bottoms because we're trying to pick possible top, and we can only use the highs to predict a low once we started to break down. That said, let's anchor the highs and see. It's way too low. Like I don't actually expect that. Well, I guess so. Like if this is the high and we break down, like we could go to new lows. It's possible. Is there? Um, I don't like just regular trend lines because they build liquidity. I only want to use predictive. Now let's zoom out, see if there's a more local short I might be interested in, or if this long still makes sense. So let's first look for shorts overhead, which would be maybe a predictive channel using the new high as a high. Which could put us up here, which I kind of like doing. I kind of like just, maybe it's reckless to keep throwing shorts on here, but this is it's not a key fib, so that's something against it. But it is it's a run the gap on the 1 hour. However, this would happen on Thursday, so why don't I just wait? I kind of like how channels can maybe tell me a possible time frame of when this might happen. So that's something that I'm going to consider. So for longs, so I kind of like that we have this trend line support now, here to here, and that it shouldn't hold because everyone is seeing that as holding. So my entry should be below it. I like that. As we saw in the liquidity chart, like there's a pocket right here under these days, and um, it might actually make sense to put it right there. So especially considering, and here's where I'm going to turn back on the liquidation levels chart, saying no, it's not really helpful. I want to check some things to confirm this. This fib maybe might be relevant, but we don't know yet if that's a top. And we can't do a predictive fib yet. This one is too steep for now. We need to see what develops. But I like having longs. And I like that this one we have a run the gap under equal lows. So this is a target. Let's look at our HY plot capital. First on the 12 hours, my understanding is $16,850. It's a hot spot. This isn't true of $16,850. Yeah, let's put it at $16,850, my entry. Right here. And my stop can be beyond this gap. Well, I can use a wider gap, a wider stop, because I'm believing we're going to have increased volatility. So we have equal lows here. Let me put them just above those. I can use a 1% stop. We're going to have to right at 16,850. 1% stop. It doesn't work with the fib. To me, the fib is the least important of all these tools. But I do want to leave it on the chart because it is possibly relevant. Okay, this is a run the gap on the 4-hour setup, which is also good. Let's look at the daily. It's a run the gap on the daily, which is also very good. This is a good setup, in my opinion. So I'm gonna adjust my long a little bit. And I think I want to aim for breaking the highs of the range. Saying, hey, this predictive trend line is going to break. Most likely. And I'm going to target beyond this high up here. Up to the top of the lowest predictive channel, which would be a 10R. I think I'm just gonna not be so interested in these ones right now. And what is this short doing here? Yeah, okay, I was looking at the 4-hour. So I don't know about that one. So like if we look at the higher time frame here, let's zoom out a little bit. I think we want to look at the monthly. We could push up to 17.5 possibly before a reversal. So I kind of, and there's a huge void beyond that. I kind of just want to have a short there in case. So where is that? 17.5, which would be a poke the gap setup. 17.550. I do need to be worried about I already drew this one. That's actually a golden. Significant golden pocket as well. So what is this even? I don't know, I'm taking it off my chart though. Wait, what is that? Oh, it's from this high. Okay. So back to the 1 hour. Is there a predicted fib that's leading up there? There is. Is this one. But I was saying it shouldn't happen until in theory it should happen maybe next week, but what if there's other ideas? What if we use the in a strong trend, anchor these in this high, which could possibly put us up here. We still shouldn't go up there right away. So let me just leave these ideas on the chart. I think I'm gonna try to get used to like accounting for time, like when things should happen, what day of the week. It's okay to get filled on the short tomorrow. I don't know that I would want to be filled on this long tomorrow. The price for this short tomorrow, if price came up here tomorrow. Well, outside of the fibs, it makes sense. Sorry, outside of the trend lines, it makes sense. We have 16,550, which is that hot spot. So I always like to go a little bit beyond. And then again, expect increased volatility. So we can use a 1% stop. And actually, if we look here, there's quite a void. It's just dark. So I kind of like the idea of that. 17,800. It might be starting to build on the lower time frame. Maybe. Not really, like price shouldn't necessarily go beyond 17,005 and then yeah, I guess 17,900 could be a good place to be, have my stop, but it would mean having a much wider stop or a much further entry. I still don't know that I want like a super 1.25% maybe, and then run a 4R down here or something like this. So I think I will limit this, and I need to adjust my long on Bitcoin as well. Mm, 17,600. Why 17,600? Because the liquidity is at 17,550. We tend to overrun that. I can enter in the middle of the gap. I can enter in the middle of the golden pocket. This gives me a 1.25% stop beyond here. And we run this allows to survive the steepest predictive channel that would put us up here um, in the next couple days. But I don't expect to go up there tomorrow. Yeah. Maybe I just don't trade ETH, honestly, because not having HY block is a cheat code. Yeah, I'm gonna share these. Okay, I'm going to Discord. I have a couple messages. I need to eat a little bit better. Okay, I'm gonna share with my friend here. Then I need to set my orders. I have two long. I'm gonna cancel both of the longs. I'm gonna leave the ETH long for now. I'm going to add a Bitcoin long and a Bitcoin short, and then I'm done for the day. And I will tell you, just from my experience today, like the stress that I had New Year's Eve compared to the relaxation of today, like, God, it's so important to have a high quality, low stress life. It makes such a difference. I'm telling you. Okay. I'm going to continue to risk 4,000, which is still less than 2%. Okay. Have enough margin to do that. So let's do 8,000 long from 16,850. Stop loss at 16,680. Okay, I'm confused right now. Why is it $3,700 loss? Is it because I'm not exact? 16,840, or is it because it's 40? Because I'm looking at the wrong coin and the leverage is wrong. We got a Bitcoin. 8,000. Long from 16,850. 16,680. I take profit as quite high. It's right now 18,700. It should be a $40,000 win. These things do happen. I had a $40,000 win in November. Then that one can wait. Throwing this long, which I'm using a little bit of a wider stop for that one, which I don't really like. I kind of want to just stick with the 1% stop. Say, I want to allow for a run the gap of this. So I will do 1.25%. Okay, I need this much margin. Order price is 17,600. My stop loss is 17,821. And then my take profit is going to be, say, 16,776. 15,000, which is good. Open short. Okay, so now I have my short. I have another short higher long, and then I have my ETH. And no, ETH not really working out for me that well, but that's it. Have a wonderful week. Good luck. See you guys tomorrow.